Welcome at SAP Sapphire 2022. I'm in The Hague at the regional event and I brought my SAP Podcar to collect customer stories, real-life customer stories. During the keynote it was a lot about sustainability and a lot about innovation and about the faster need to adapt to challenges in the world. I bumped into Timo Elliott, innovation evangelist, and Eddy Reimerink, Google Cloud specialist, and I will talk to them more about that. Welcome to the SAP Podcar. First question, how is Sapphire The Hague for you, Eddy?
It's like a big reunion of everybody I know, and it's great to see people in real life, to realize people really have legs, right? We didn't see that for a long while.
Yeah.
And it's like the meeting people by accident, that people that you didn't see for a long time, is I believe the best part of this, besides of course all the content, but I believe everybody's really enjoying being together this way again.
Yeah. And Timo, how's your experience?
Absolutely. Content you can get over the web with Zoom seminars, but conversations are much harder. And this is the ideal opportunity for, in English we say serendipity. Yeah. So fortunate meeting with people that you wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah.
So
that's also what every executive was saying during the keynote. I'm happy to be here to meet you all in person again, and that's what you explained.
So if you get the opportunity, go to a physical conference.
Which is a good thing, yeah. You just explained B2P in your session, Timo. Maybe can you summarize your session?
So SAP Business Technology Platform is the foundation for our vision of the intelligent, sustainable enterprise. It's basically everything you need to innovate faster. And above everything, it's what we're using as the foundation for our next generation of products and services so we can innovate faster for our customers and partners.
Yeah, which is important. The pace of business is going really fast, so we need to also innovate faster.
Yeah, so we can probably agree on the top trends is everybody wants to innovate faster.
Yes.
The cloud is a big part of being able to do that. And finally, we're seeing a big wave of a shift from people like central IT doing everything to then more federated IT business people themselves being able to do it.
Yeah. So how can we move faster with you, Eddy, with Google?
Yes. So I think one of the challenges our customers have is that data is everywhere, right? So data is in SAP, critical business data, but data is also in, let's say, Google Marketing Platform about search trends or ad campaigns, and people want to bring data together. In a lot of cases, we make that the customer's problem or the integrator's problem. Teaming up where BTP is a critical element to bring those worlds together, in our case SAP and Google Cloud, that is how we can help the customer go faster, innovate faster, and I believe that if we all go faster, there's a lot of value for us as suppliers, but especially for the customer. And customers are really looking for speed to be able to adapt to the changes in the world. And also that's one of the things that Google is very much focusing on, making it really easy to connect those worlds of SAP with BTP and Google Cloud with our Cortex framework.
Okay. Faster innovation, faster delivery to the business people of the desire to the business challenges. There was also a lot about sustainability during the keynote. How is BTP supporting the sustainability goals?
So there were some fantastic examples of real-world organizations who have been using the business technology platform, in particular for transparency. So it's incredibly important to know where you are today and if you have to have a hope of how you're going to use that data to change things in the future. So we heard from Mercedes talking about how they were able to take information and use it to optimize their travel and logistics, or there's an organization called Costain that works on huge infrastructure projects in the UK, massively energy intensive, and they're using all of the detailed data for all of those sensors, bringing it together in a cloud platform to provide sustainability. And then they have some really cool machine learning on top to help benchmark and do pattern matching and optimize the whole process. So again,
I really like that story, because you think of, if you hear Mercedes, then you think of data, of course, because in the car there is a lot of sensors, and they will use it to optimize the speed of the car and the track performance, but they also use it in a bigger in context, like you just explained.
And one of the things I think about Costain in particular is they're using a very modern approach to data architecture. So we talked about the problem, we've got data in silos. Always have had, and probably always will. So how do you bring it together in order to get that transparency? How do you get that famous, single version of the truth? For generations, we've had to take the data to the technology. We had to rip it out of wherever it was and then move it to a separate environment, a data warehouse, data lake house, whatever you want to call it. But now the latest generation of analysts and the technology it's all in the cloud anyway now.
Yeah.
And as much as possible, we can now leave data where it already is with all of its business context and then combine it, connect it, and use it as and when we need it. I mean, that's kind of the point of the cloud, is that it's all available for us and that we, as customers, architects, don't have to think so much about how we're going to do it all, that it's more behind the scenes because it just becomes a service online. So in the past, it's been a little bit like we had a nice tree growing in our business system when we've uprooted it and tried to get it grow somewhere else. It works, but it's really expensive and painful. So instead, let's leave the tree where it is and then combine different trees as and when we need them.
Yeah, in the past it also seemed that it was the goal it was only the goal to collect as much data as that you have in a data lake, but that's not a goal, right? You have to have insight of your data.
Right, and it turns into a data swamp very quickly.
Exactly.
Or Gartner put it interestingly, they said data is a liability. Yeah. Why? Well, because it costs money and there's risk involved. That's the definition of a liability.
Yeah.
So how do you actually get value out of it? Well, you have to integrate it into your business. And one of the problems with analytics in general is we stopped at, now you can see the data.
Yeah. Okay.
Data is useless. You actually have to do something with it. So
make it actionable.
And still it ends a lot with, I get insight out of the data. I can even predict, right? But then still something needs to happen, right? And so this translation of the insight to action is a lot of time where it stops, right? And I believe also integrating, let's say, our Google data lake solutions with SAP allows you also to, let's say, create a transaction or at least an action back into the SAP system, right? Which is, let's say, the center of the transactions of a lot of our customers.
I mean, it's all about business process, and every customer I work with has a combination of data lakes in the cloud where they're maybe bringing together some IoT data, but then they have their process data, they're trying to bring it together to do something useful. And what's interesting again is becoming more process driven. In order to have a process, you need workflows, you need tools for collaboration, you need to be able to plan, right? Planning is about people coming together to figure out what to do next. So I'm finding these worlds are coming back together, where data became separate from business process, and now they're coming back together again because the technology allows it.
And I had the remarks of the customers this morning that
Thank you.
SAP is, let's say, also more and more an open system, an open environment, and it's easier to integrate. And I believe that's really the world, what the world needs, that we are able to collaborate, let's say, as vendors with our integrators and our customers to create, let's say, the solutions for tomorrow.
Yeah, so it's not about the cloud as a destination, but it's the journey to the cloud and everything that you can do, as you just explained. If you have everything together, or if you can integrate it better, then you can have so much more new use cases.
Yes.
Facilitated by business.
And it's more important than ever because we've been talking about organizations do their own data, but of course data doesn't stop at the edges of companies anymore. It's all about, you have to share data with your partners, sustainability, right? It's all about the supply chain, your supplier and their supplier. Like we had the example on the keynote about how many companies does it require to get a cup of coffee into your hand. It was like 29, I think, something like that.
Huge amount.
And then think about a car. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands, and trying to trace sustainability all the way back requires really good analytics, but it also requires a more networked approach. Yeah. And again, this is where cloud platforms, hyperscalers like Google, working with process experts like SAP come together. Great combination.
And it all comes together.
And the transition to the cloud typically already is a gain in sustainability, right? Because we're already carbon neutral. We will be carbon free in 2030, completely carbon free. but it's also easier to create sustainable solutions together with the flexibility that technology provides these days.
Okay, thank you guys very much, and enjoy Sapphire for the rest of the day.
Thank you for the opportunity. And if anybody wants to know more about SAP Business Technology Platform, you can go to sap.com/BTP and use it for free.
Yes, or follow Timo Elliott.
Or follow Timo Elliott on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, any other platform you can.
All right, cool.
And if you want to know more about Google Clouds, you can Google it, right?
That's a good one. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Okay.
All right.